Hello. Our lesson today is going to be about adverbial time clauses. I hope you will find it interesting. When the adverb clause indicates time, the adverb can be termed as adverb clause of time. There are different forms of adverb clauses of time. And we have so many time clauses. These clauses are introduced by an adverb of time, such as when, whenever, while, as, before, after, till, until, since, and as soon as. Whenever we are dealing with adverb time clauses, we should keep in mind that when an adverb clause begins the sentence, we should use a comma to separate the two clauses. Example: as soon as he arrives, we will have some lunch. As you can see here, as soon as he arrives, we use the adverb time clause at the beginning of the sentence. We started and introduced the sentence with the adverb clause of time, so we use the comma after it. When the adverb clause finishes the sentence, there is no need for a comma. Example: he gave me a call when he arrived in town. As you can see here, we didn't use a comma, since the adverb clause of time, which is when, was used to finish the sentence. It wasn't used in the beginning of the sentence. We are going to highlight or to have a closer look at the adverb clauses of time, at some of them, of course. We are going to start with when. Example: when you have finished your work, you may go home. Here in this sentence, the adverb clause of time is when. We used when to indicate the time when you may go home. Of course, as you have noticed here, because we used when, which is the adverb time clause, in the beginning of the sentence, at the beginning of the sentence, we used a comma, since it introduced the sentence. When means at the moment, at that moment, at that time. It is also important to remember that when takes either the simple past or the present. So it could be used with the present or with the past simple. Another adverb clause of time is before. Examples on before: we will finish before he arrives. Here we used before to finish the sentence, so we didn't use any commas. She had left before I telephoned, or she left before I telephoned. Before here means that before that moment. It is important to remember that before takes either the simple past or the present. Another adverb clause of time is after. Example on after: we will finish after he comes. She ate after I had left, or she ate after I left. After means after that moment. It is also important here to know that after is used with the present for future events and the past, or past perfect for past events. Now, while and as are both adverbial time clauses. Examples on them: She began cooking while I was finishing my homework. Example number 2. As I was finishing my homework, she began cooking. While and as mean during that time. While and as are both usually used for the past continuous because the meaning of during that time, which indicates an action in progress. Example on by the time. By the time he finished, I had cooked dinner. We will have finished our homework by the time they arrive. Here, by the time expresses the idea that one event has been completed before another. It is important to notice the use of the past perfect for past events and the future perfect for future events in the main clause. This is because of the idea of something happening up to another point in time. Until, till. These are also some adverb clauses of time. Example, we waited until he finished his homework. I'll wait till you finish. Until and till both are adverbial clauses of time, as I mentioned earlier, and they both express up to the time, to that time. We use either the simple present or simple past with until and till. Till is usually only used in spoken English. Since is another adverbial time clause. Examples, I have played tennis since I was a young boy. They have worked here since 1987. Since here is used to indicate time. Since means from that time. We use the present perfect continuous with since. Since can also be used with a specific point in time, such the examples given. Another two adverbial clauses of time are whenever and every time. Example, whenever he comes, we go to have lunch at Dick's. We take a hike every time he visits us. Whenever and every time here mean each time something happens. We use the simple present or the simple past in the past because whenever and every time both express habitual actions. As soon as is another adverbial clause of time. Examples, he will let us know as soon as he decides, or as soon as he has decided. As soon as I hear from Tom, I will give you a telephone call. As soon as means when something happens immediately afterwards. As soon as is very similar to when it emphasizes that the event will occur immediately after the other. We usually use the simple present for future events, although present perfect can also be used. The first, second, third, fourth, etc. Next and last time are also some adverbial time clauses. Examples, the first time I went to New York, I was intimidated by the city. I saw Jack the last time I went to San Francisco. The second time I played tennis, I began to have fun. The first, second, third, fourth, etc. next and last time means that specific time. We can use these forms to be more specific about which time of a number of times something happened. Now we have 5 sentences to do. We need to complete the following sentences using a suitable adverb time clause. Sentence number 1. They have worked here 1987. Of course, as you can notice here, we have a certain year. Number 2. Hugo, bring me some water. Sentence number 3. He came, night had fallen. 4. I will phone you. I get home. 5. My mother got ill. I was abroad. Of course, the sentences are completed like this. Number 1. They have worked here since 1987. Of course, we used since here because we have the present perfect, which is have worked. Number 2. Before you go, bring me some water. Then I'm asking someone to bring me something before he goes. Number 3. He came after night had fallen. Number 4. I will phone you as soon as I get home. The indication for using as soon as here in this sentence is taken from the meaning. So as soon as I get home, I will phone you. Number 5. My mother got ill while I was abroad. So when I was abroad, while I was abroad, my mother got ill. That was our lesson for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you found it interesting and useful.